I didn't really think that this TBR was going to be very long, but after reading it all off to you guys, I'm kind of like, wow, I'm setting myself up for a lot of reading. Hey guys, Holly J here, aka Planet Ginger, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Today we are going to do a spring TBR video. I do these kind of quarterly / seasonal TBR videos. Months just go by way too fast and I just don't read quick enough to get all that I actually want to accomplish done. So I feel like these seasonal / quarterly little TBR videos are just a lot more doable for me, and it gives me kind of something to look forward to in my reading. As I always do with these videos, I'm first going to discuss my previous TBR video and see what I actually accomplished from that before I get started into our new TBR lineup. I actually did pretty good for my winter TBR. I had 3 continuing series, and that was Throne of Glass. I'm doing a reread of Throne of Glass. In my Throne of Glass reread, I have read Past Heir of Fire, and I'm going to be reading Queen of Shadows next. I don't know if I necessarily worked on that in the winter or not. I can't really remember. I know for sure I did not work on my Harry Potter reading in the winter, and I was supposed to. I ideally would have liked to have been done with Harry Potter by the time spring came around, but I'm just not. I just finished Goblet of Fire. That's my last book that I read, and I haven't picked the Harry Potter books back up. We have Order of the Phoenix coming up at some point soon. Both of those series are going to be on my continuing series for spring as well, which I'll highlight again. Those I didn't do so good at continuing in the wintertime. I don't know why. I think I was just distracted with other things, other reads, and I just didn't get to picking those up. Ice Planet Barbarians, on the other hand, I did do some solid reading. I think I am up to, hold on, let me see. And mind you, when I say Ice Planet Barbarians, I don't know if I'm going to read like the full series. I think that there's like 20 some odd books in the series as a whole. I am just planning on doing 1 through 10. As far as I can tell, that's the only ones that have been traditionally picked up and published. So I'm gonna stop there more than likely, but I don't know. You never know. Weirder things have happened. Maybe I do read the entire series. So I only have 3 more left, which is crazy because I had a lot going into the winter. The ones I have left is Barbarian's Taming, Barbarian's Heart, and Barbarian's Hope. The ones I read in the winter time was, I don't really remember how far I was into the series in my last video, but I read Barbarian Mine in November. I also read Ice Planet Holiday in November. And then I read Barbarian's Prize, Barbarian's Mate, and Barbarian's Touch from November to current. So got quite a bit of the Barbarian books done. Those are really easy to accomplish because they're like, I think that they're barely 250 pages and they just read really quickly. I have a special like love for that series. I think that the relationships are so underrated because they're actually very sweet and very genuine. I just really like the love stories and I like the relationships a lot, and I think that they just get looked at as these just like smut books. Don't get me wrong, they do have smut in them, but I just genuinely enjoy like all the little stories and all the relationships that I get to watch in the Barbarian world. I think that series sometimes gets passed off as just a smut read, and I just think it's so much more than that. So it's becoming like a comfort series of mine. I feel like I go to Ice Planet Barbarians to just like have just like a comfort moment. Anyways, that's a little tangent on the Ice Planet Barbarian books. I just adore them and I'm continuing that read. I do kind of want to wrap that up though, and like I said, get read all the way through the 10th book. So that is on my continuing to read list for the spring as well. As far as new reads go, I actually accomplished quite a few of these too. Wings of Starlight was on my list to read in the winter, and I did read that. Heavenly Bodies was also a book to read in the winter, and I accomplished reading that. A couple others that I had on my goals to read in the winter was a fun Christmas rom-com, which I ended up reading Holiday Romance, and that was actually a very unexpected great read of mine. The Night and the Moth I also read, and I read a classic, which I ended up reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Those were all on my winter TBR. 2 books I did not get to on my winter TBR that I do not think I will be pulling over to my spring TBR because I just don't think that I'm going to be in the mindset to read these in the spring or summer, which is The Curse of Ophelia and The Bear and the Nightingale. I just think that those are more like comfy winter/fall vibe books, and I just can't really envision myself picking that up in the spring at the current moment. Maybe in the summer I'll have a change of heart, but for right now, we're going to kind of like leave those off of our current TBR. That is kind of the wrap up for my winter side of things. And now that we're diving into spring, let's take a look at what I want to accomplish this spring for my reading. It really is time for spring cleaning with the books I have on my TBR, because a lot of the ones I want to read is finishing series up. There's only a few new reads that I'm even gonna list here because I have so much catching up to do on series that I'm already reading. I've already listed off a couple series that I for sure am going to continue in the spring that were also on my winter TBR, which is continuing my reread of Throne of Glass, continuing the reads of Harry Potter, and continuing the reads of the Ice Planet Barbarian books. All of those are still going to be valid for my spring TBR. I would like to continue on with all those. For Harry Potter, I think my goal would be like to read at least the Order of the Phoenix in the spring. For the Ice Planet books, I feel like I can finish them. I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like I can finish them in the spring because only 3 more books left and they're really small books. I really just feel like I can accomplish that. As far as the Throne of Glass reread, I for sure want to get done with Queen of Shadows this spring and then potentially be starting at least on the tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. More series that I want to continue. I want to read, and it's sitting right up here on my Elsie Silver shelf, but I want to read Wild Card, which is the last book in the Rose Hill series. Elsie Silver is one of my favorite authors. I just really enjoy her little small town romance, like cowboy romance books. The Rose Hill series has been a little harder for me to get into. I just don't feel that same like pull and connection as I did to the Chestnut Spring series. I would like to finish up her Rose Hill series and get ready for her new release, which I think is gonna be in May. Another book, which actually I just started reading it now. I read Quicksilver this past winter, and I will be reading Brimstone. I actually am currently reading Brimstone, so I just started it, and that is on my spring TBR to finish the Fae and Alchemy series up until the point that I can for right now, because there is going to be at least one more book, if not more. I'm not really sure what the span is on that. I want to finish Brimstone, which I definitely am going to do since I'm already currently reading it. So, oh, I forgot to say too, Mate was either on my fall TBR or my winter one. I really can't remember which. Mate, which is the second book to Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I just finished that book and oh my gosh, it ended up being like a really good book in my eyes. Like I really enjoyed Mate. I thought that the romance and the relationship was so cute and I'm kind of obsessed with it. So anyways, that was just another little tidbit that I need to add in there. I did finish Mate as well. And like I said, I don't know if that was on my winter TBR or my fall. They're kind of all starting to blend together, but regardless, I did read that this past little bit. Actually, I have 2 more romance series that I would really like to finish. And I have been trying to finish this one series for years now. Not 4 years, but for years, you know. FOR. And that is the Addicted/Calloway series. The last 2 books that I have to read are like really thick. And so I'm like, I literally only have Long Way Down and Some Kind of Perfect to go. And then I'm done. So I would really like to wrap that up. But I'm going to throw it on my spring TBR because I'd like to at least get done with Long Way Down if I can. Another romance series that I need to finish up is the Magnolia Park series. I need to fully catch up, which this is so crazy for me to say because Magnolia Parks is like one of my all-time favorite romance series, like literally ever. I, for some reason, am like having a really hard time reading Into the Dark. And it's not even like the reading part of it. It's not that I don't like the story. It's not that I don't know why. I keep anticipating her to be like, okay, the Daisy Hates book is coming out and she just keeps not. So I think there's a part of me that just doesn't want to be caught up because at least I have something to read. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is a commitment issue. Maybe this is a bigger issue than just myself. But for whatever reason, I cannot make myself open that book and read it. And maybe it's because I also just like don't want to get my heart broken. And I just feel like it is going to with that book. I don't know. But I would like to just get done with it. I would like to be caught up with Magnolia Parks. That is on my spring TBR as well. Two other books that I have on my continuing series. The first one is the Disney Villains series. I just started reading this series and I don't know how far I'm gonna follow it. I'm gonna kind of like see. I did read Fairest of All, which is the first book, and then The Beast Within is the next book in the series. As far as right now goes, I'm going to be continuing that series. The books are really small and I've heard good things about the series, so I would like to keep continuing it. I don't know, we're gonna see how it goes. There's like 10 more books though in the series that I would have to read, which is kind of giving me anxiety, but we'll just take it book by book and just see if I keep on enjoying the series or not. The last one, I'm currently reading the first book in this trilogy, but I would like to finish this trilogy by the end of spring, and that is the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. I am reading currently Assassin's Apprentice. I think I'm about halfway through it right now, but yeah, I would like to be done with that trilogy by the end of the spring and hopefully be diving into the next trilogy, which is going to be on my new reads list. So that'll be the first one we'll start off with, which is Live Ship Traders. I'd like to be done with the Farseer trilogy and then dive into Live Ship Traders as soon as possible. If that's in the spring, that's awesome. If it's in the summer, oh well. So now that we're jumping over to the new read section, I also would like to read Happy Place. Spring is the time for like romance and just outdoor reading, and it just, I don't know. I always like reading little romances in the spring and summertime. I just think that it's just the energy for it. I definitely would like to get that one done, and along that same line, I would like to read a new cowboy romance, whether that's a standalone book or another series to get into. I am hopefully going to get all caught up with the Elsie Silver books, and then I also read all of Lila Sage's Rebel Blue Ranch series. Loved those books. There's a couple cowboy romances on my radar. Let me see if I can find them for you guys. Holding the Reins is what it's called. The first book is called that. It's the Silver Pines Ranch series by Paisley Hope. There's also Willow Springs by Laura Pavlov. The first book is called Frayed. The first book is called Alive and Wells by Bailey Hanna, and it's called Wells Ranch. There's the Griffith Brothers series by Maggie Gates, and the first book is called Dust Storm. Lucky River Ranch by Jessica Peterson. The first book is called Cash, and I think this one's also a cowboy romance, but it's called Obsession Falls is the first book, and it's the Haven Brothers series. So I would like to try to get into one of those series this spring. Another series that I would really like to get into and start, but I'm getting really nervous about it just because, again, there's so many books in the series, and that's City of Bones. I never read City of Bones. I didn't get into City of Bones, and I feel like it's making a resurgence. I feel like so many people are talking about it now, and I would love to dive into the series, but I'm just a little bit, I get nervous because it's just such a commitment. I am going to put that on my spring TBR. I would like to at least maybe read the first book in the series, kind of get that ball rolling with that series as well. And then my final new read for the spring season, which I'm actually planning on doing a buddy read with my sister on, is Red Rising. I have a hold on it already, and my sister, I think, just put a hold on hers, so I'm going to suspend my hold pretty much until she can get a hold of hers, and we're going to read it at the same time. That is for sure going to be a spring read, which I'm kind of excited about because I usually don't pick up sci-fi books, but everyone seems to be obsessed with Red Rising as well, so I definitely want to give it a shot and see what all the talk is about. And then I have my last category to end this video on, which is rereads. The first reread I already discussed, which is Queen of Shadows. I'm going to continue my reread of all of Throne of Glass, and that entails Queen of Shadows, obviously, which I kind of already touched on. One reread that I'm in the middle of rereading this whole series. I already read the first book, which is Once Upon a Broken Heart, one of my favorite series of all time, probably. I already reread Once Upon a Broken Heart in the winter, and I am waiting on my hold of The Ballad of Never After, which The Ballad of Never After is my ultimate favorite book in the entire series, so I'm really excited to get that hold. Also, down the road, I don't know if that'll be in the spring or more in the summertime, but obviously I will finish off the reread of that entire series and add A Curse for True Love to the mix as well. But for right now, we're just gonna keep it simple because we kind of have a lot of things stacking up here, and we're just gonna focus on getting the Ballad of Never After done in the spring. A reread that I have not read in literally years, and I am so excited to dive into this world again, is Inkheart. Inkheart is a book that I read, I think, in 5th grade, and I was just super obsessed with. I loved the story and loved the world, and me and my friend were just super obsessed. I would like to dive back into that world soon. That read is going to happen soon because my hold is almost available as well. Anyways, that's kind of my spring lineup for you guys. A lot of different type of things going on. Again, a lot of them being series beginning or series ends. I didn't really think that this TBR was going to be very long, but after reading it all off to you guys, I'm kind of like, wow, I'm setting myself up for a lot of reading. Kind of a doozy, but it's okay. We're gonna get through it. A lot of good things hopefully are gonna be coming out of this spring. Please let me know if I inspired you to maybe pick up one of these books, or let me know if you enjoyed any of these books, if you've already read them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!